What's up, Hackstab slash your boy Hacky, this dude right here.
Just Justin, what is up?
We're gonna kick this podcast off with an absolutely god awful dad joke.
Oh God, we don't have to.
Justin, what do you
What?
call a ghost in the winter?
I don't know, Sean.
Casper. Get it, Burr?
I oh
No,
my dear God. All right, well now that we're doing this, what do you call a lizard that gets lost in a snowstorm?
I don't know.
A blizzard?
Jesus Christ.
Okay, all right, we just
What do you
lost
call a
like
frozen dog?
oh my dear God. I, what?
A popsicle. All right, Hackstab slash we're doing Black Phone 2. It's cold, it's chilly, and I think that was the criteria, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it was like a winter movie. Who picked this? Me?
I think this was a joint pick because I think it was time to do it.
Oh yeah. We were waiting for this one. That's what it was. We were just
Yeah,
waiting
we wanted
for.
to keep it cold, and we wanted it to come out on a streaming service where everyone could watch it and not have to pay for it unless you're paying for that streaming service. And we watched this on Peacock.
Peacock, peacock, peacock.
What were your expectations going into this?
I was kind of confused why there was going to be a sequel. I love the first one so much. Didn't want there to be a sequel at all. I heard a little bit of what it was supposed to be about, like Nightmare on Elm Street. It sounded pretty stupid if you ask me. Um, yeah, so I wasn't excited at all. How about you?
The first movie had such great vibes. I thought that movie was almost flawless when we covered it. It had minimal dialogue drop. Hawk as the grabber is such a perfect match. Mason Thames as Finn was fantastic casting. This storyline with the phone calls and the small side stories following each one of his victims. I actually went back, and the first time we covered Black Phone, just Black Phone, I had
Yeah,
rated an 8.7. I've
yep.
rewatched it a couple of times since then, and I'm so far as to say like it's gone up. Like I would probably give it a 9.2. So when you said we're gonna do Black Phone 2, I was both excited and scared. Like, do we get a
Yeah,
superior sequel? Do we get like a Sleepaway Camp 2?
let's
Or do we
go.
get like a should have stuck with one, kind of like Sinister, or maybe just like a solid follow up to the OG that can spawn a true franchise like Child's Play or Halloween?
Yep.
Um, Even though both of those get crazy, fucking wacky, stupid. Either way, though, I can't wait to dive into this and go over it.
And all right, can I kick this off just because I was so confused too? The fact that this was awesome because it's been anyone, I mean, we're in Massachusetts, it's literally been like Alaska for like the last month. And I watched this during that little insane storm we had. And I did
Homeboy's
not,
still wearing shorts.
and yeah, and I did not know that this was a winter movie like at all. I knew nothing about that. So right away, you see like Rocky Mountains, Colorado, like 1957, and a phone booth on the ice. And right away, I'm like, what is happening? This is crazy. You see, there's like a girl on the phone in the ice,
It's such
and
a weird placement for a phone booth too.
yeah, like a little odd. That's why I was like, what is happening? And you see her talking, it's like cutting in and out. You can't really make out what's happening. And you see there's like numbers like carved like under the ice, it looks like. I'm like, what is happening? And that's all you pretty much see. It goes like to the credits right away. And you get snow, you see a blizzard. They do a really good job with like these openings because it shows
This
like flat.
opening credit is a fucking movie in
That's the
itself.
thing. You gotta watch every single thing. It's showing like
Dude,
some
no, not even
campground.
just watch it. The score behind it, dude. This opening credit scene's like what, 5 minutes long?
Yeah,
Go lock yourself in a dark room by yourself and then watch it via headphones so you hear everything and nothing else. And I guarantee you it creeps the shit out of you.
no, it's super creepy, and it shows like there's a snow, there's an ice storm, there's a blizzard. You got a lot of information. There's like kids dead. It's a lot of heavy shit. But then, boom, right away, you're right back to where we are now, present day, and you see Finn just kicking some ass. He's kicking some new kid's ass, absolutely beats the crap out of him. You see him with the sister. He's walking by. She's like, "Come on, Finn! Like, really? Like, you have to do this." And I feel
He's
like they
like,
give you,
yeah. She's like, what did he ask for? And he's like, actually, it was the same old shit. Kid walked up and was like, heard you're the new tough kid. I don't believe it. And he's like, he didn't say that. And he's like, no, that's word for word what he
yeah,
said.
he's like literally word for word. Like, so you get some humor mixed in right away. And I think they do a really good job right now showing like the home life because you see Finn like smoking a joint. You see him
Dude,
having,
he needs mental health. Like you can tell he
yeah,
needs someone to talk to. He needs some kind of therapy. And this is back in the 60s, dude. They don't have that stuff. So
Right.
smoking is probably the only way he can cope with it.
Yep. And I feel like they do a really good job of just showing you a lot without like wasting a lot of time. Like you see he's having flashbacks of the grabber. I mean, obviously you saw the fight, you see him smoking, you see all this going on. And then you see we go right into Alpine Lake, and you see like there is snow everywhere. You see a kid is murdered. There's carving something on the ice, and you see his sister. She wakes up to a phone, and so you see like she's having like these crazy dreams, things that she's had before, and you see basically you see Finn goes up there and he basically wakes up to the phone and Finn's like, I can't help you. He goes back to bed. We meet Ernesto. I think that's what his name is.
His name is Ernesto and Gwen. We actually meet them both, and they're having a bonding moment in this library. And
Library.
I think it's
Sorry.
very great that like this is a great scene to help build Ernesto's character because he very clearly cares deeply for Gwen and he seems genuinely interested in whatever the hell she's got going on because he even gives her like tarot cards and he's like, yeah, I got these from my abuela's shop. And it's a very good bonding moment. And we see Finn picking up and rejecting every single phone call that
Yep.
comes his way. He just can't help you, hangs it up. And he does this shit without haste. Like he doesn't want to talk to anyone. He doesn't want anything to do with anyone anymore. And then this transitions again. This is real fast. We see another one of these victims' videos. This man's name is Cal, and he gets mixed up with the grabber almost instantly. We don't get much of like a playtime story with Cal, and this poor kid gets fucking burned. It's like the grabber like hacks him up and lights him on fire or tries to burn him. It's almost like he's trying to experiment with different things from boy to boy. I've got right now, dude, this is just such a sick and disgusting taste in my mouth for the grabber. And it sucks because we see Cal ends up in this frozen lake and he floats to the top as well. And he carves a B to go alongside with the W.
Yep.
And it's just, it's a lot. It's very dreadful. It's very, very gory compared to the first movie.
Oh God, yeah.
And it's not even like it stops here because it continues and it goes right the second he carves that bee, it goes right into Gwen and she wakes up and she's in the dream realm again. Wow. It's almost like I couldn't say that like you couldn't say dual rear wheel drive.
Oh God, yeah. Don't remind me.
That was a tongue twister. This time, dude, she stays in long enough. She actually makes it to the grabber's house and answers the phone. And we see this is where the two timelines from our opening scene actually interact, like they cross over. Because in the opening scene, we see her actually talking to her mom, and her
Mm-hmm.
mom's on that side. You don't hear anyone else. And then in this scene, we see Gwen, but we can also hear her mom, which is actually, I think it's pretty cool how well this matches up.
Dude, I wrote the same thing. I wrote, "Holy crap! Wait, was that her mom?" I'm like, "Oh my God, her mom was like the person that like I thought that was so cool." Because like I said, you don't get that information until all of a sudden right now, and I'm like,
No.
"Holy shit, that was
And then
really cool."
rest in peace, James Ransom, because he makes a very brief appearance as the dead grabber's brother and simply warns her, he's like, you shouldn't be here, get out.
Is that who James Ransom was?
Yeah, he was the brother in the original one.
Oh, okay. Because I couldn't
So
remember him.
this
I'm
guy
like,
has been everywhere, and I'm starting to watch movies again, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm like, I fucking knew he was in this.
yeah, I forgot who he was. I know who James Ransom. Like, rest in peace. This was literally his last role. But I was trying to think. I'm like, wait, who was he in this movie? Okay.
But Finn actually wakes Gwen up, and it's kind of like Finn wanted to see what happened because he's like, nah, he's like, I heard you get up out of bed again. I just followed you. I
Yeah.
wanted to see where
Yep.
you were going. Like, I mean, it's smart on Finn's end, but at the same time, like, really? The second she got towards the grab site, you should have woke her up in the driveway.
Yeah. Maybe don't let her go in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. A few red flags.
And then the next morning, dude, Gwen puts on her thinking cap and she actually signs her or Ernesto and Finn up to be CITs, which is counselors in training for Camp Alpine Lake. I did giggle when they're packing up to leave and
Hmm.
Finn's in his bedroom, like packing his bags and stuff. And the dad's like, you sure? Do you need anything? Do you want me to do anything before you leave? And he's like, yeah, don't get drunk.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
he's
for
like, three
real.
years. He's like, I'll have my chip when you come back.
Yep.
I just can we touch on the fact of the perfect placement for Pink Floyd's Another Brick in the Wall?
Dude,
This
the
song is uncanny how well it plays for this set of scenes.
and oh my God, and it just gets better in like a couple scenes. I'll let you keep talking, but it gets even better when they like start driving and stuff. But
Because they drive, dude, and it's through the snowstorm, and you see a
oh,
car crash, and you see police sirens. Like it just keeps playing and playing, and it even I think it plays right up until Finn gets out of the car, Rocky Balboa style, and just leads them till they get a flashlight shown on them by a chick named Mustang.
dude, I really like before we touch it, I literally just went, oh my God, like this scene, this music, the snow, the cinematography. Oh my God, it was so beautiful. Like I had chills.
When we talk about actual music in a movie that feels like it was made for the movie and the movie wasn't made for the music, one of the only other scenes that I've absolutely fallen in love with that does this. Do you remember when we did Fear Street? What was it, 1996?
Fear
And
Street
she gets
94 or
on
something.
94, yeah. And she gets on the bus and
Hmm.
it's you say I'm loco.
Dude,
Like
Fear
that
Street,
is perfectly matched up with music.
Fear Street crushed music. Oh my God, like
Yes.
the crushed music. Don't even get me started about Fear Street again.
But just
But
Roger Waters' voice when he's like, Daddy, why'd you leave for me? Like it
it's
just, oh, so
dude, it's
good.
haunting. And then, like you said, they get to this. They're there now at the place, and holy shit, it's literally a blizzard. They probably should not have been driving. And right away, like there's already they have to first of all, or as they get there, they have to sleep in different cabins. Like I get it, right? Because like the
I
girls
just
together,
feel
but
bad for Gwen because she's all by herself.
yeah, and holy shit, you don't think you'd make exceptions on a blizzard on the freaking day when
They're
one of
brother
the
and sister.
I was gonna say it's your sister. Like right away, I'm like all the red flags. Do not let that happen because right away, boom, she's already hitting a freaking dream, and she's already in the dream world, and we see the WBH on the ice. And then outside of the storm, all of a sudden you hear ringing. And like I said, it's a crazy storm going on. And right away, I mean, he goes out there and Finn just picks it up. Can't help you. This dude, like Sean said earlier, is not. He has no time for any of this shit. Straight up, can't help you. But we see Gwen's awake. All the dead kids you see are in her freaking cabin. This scene is so freaking creepy because you see Finn is stuck in the phone booth now outside, and you see
It's
the
actually the
grab.
scene behind you.
Oh shit! Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
and it's so cool because you see the grabber on the phone. And dude, this is so chaotic. This is so creepy and scary. What this is happening to Finn out there. Meanwhile, Gwen's in there with like the ghost kid all around. And
Dude, you
Finn,
get so many different vibes in the scenes.
dude,
I've got everything. I was like, I feel like there's Pennywise. There's a lot of Stephen King that must have influenced this because the way the kid's head gets split open, I was like, that reminds me of Pennywise, like shit that would happen in the movie
yes,
It. And I'm like, they're snowed in a remote place in Colorado. They're seeing spirits, and I'm like, this reminds me a lot of The Shining with Danny Torrance. And I was like, this is insane. And I'll let you continue because I don't want to take away from this set of
no,
scenes, but it is just so
no,
good.
and like I said, so much. There was a lot happening. It was complete, absolute chaos. So Finn finally gets to her, comforts her, and she brings her back
Dude,
into where
when
him and
when
her,
the third kid comes in, what's
yeah,
his name? It's Spike.
I forget. Yeah,
When
I
when
didn't write the
he
kids' names
opens the
down.
window
Oh my
and
God.
sticks his head in, and you see the grabber behind him, and he simply breaks off the bottom part of the window so it's all glass, and then he slams that shit
Slams this
shut on
door.
him.
To figure,
Woo!
we got heads
Oh
rolling in the
man!
scene. Yeah, you
Oh
got gory
lordy!
kids. Yeah, there's a
God
lot of
damn!
gore. Till thank God Finn gets her the hell out of there because holy shit, that was intense. And brings her back to his cabin. She cuddles with Ernesto, has a nice little moment. They have a great moment until
I
Finn.
called this LNTs, late
This
night
was
talks.
this is kind of hilarious too because like they had like a great moment and everything. Then you have the humor, like they're like about to kiss or something, and like Finn interrupts. He was awake the whole entire time, just in the other bed, like listening to it all.
Finn is pissing me off through this whole movie. Like, I do not like his character at all. I don't like the way he acts. But
Yeah.
when he's laying down in bed and he's like, I think you're beautiful. And just before they kiss, you hear Finn go, Do you think I'm beautiful too?
Dude,
And she sits up and she's like, she calls him something. She calls him like a shit stand or something. She's got so many good one liners. But
Dude, I feel it. Oh, sorry.
she just like chirps in, dude. And every time she does that shit, it makes me laugh. But he's true. He's like, did you guys forget I'm right here? He's like, it's kind of like I couldn't go anywhere. I'm literally right here.
That was so awesome. But
And then
he's
you
def.
focus in enough when they're done talking,
Mhm.
and you can see like Frost just taking over the window. And I thought it was so cool, dude, that it was the grabber's mask.
So creepy, so scary. Absolutely scared the crap out of me. Do you
Oh
feel
yeah.
like Finn's kind of? I feel like in Stranger Things, everyone loved Dustin for so long, and then in the last season, he obviously acted like very uneven for a while until like towards the end. I feel like that's how like Finn's kind of acting, like the trauma
That's
that he's went
a
through.
very good comparison. Yeah, when
Because
after
like
he lost Eddie.
that's the thing, exactly, and because like Dustin was wicked serious and he wasn't like that funny goofy for a while. The same thing, like Finn is like very. You could tell
Yeah,
he's obviously
and
gone through
not
so much
even just
shit.
the grabber. He lost his best friend in Robin.
That's the thing. He lost his friends. He lost all this different shit. So you could tell he's like, yeah, he's not having any fun at all. He's like you said, he's kind of just being like a dick through all of that. But I forgot where you want to take over me,
Yeah,
so I forgot where we are.
I'll take over. I did enjoy the next morning at breakfast. They're sitting down with Mondo, and they actually find out that their mom's camp name, because they're saying like, we're here because our mom came here, because he wants to know, because he's like, you guys have never been here before,
Yeah,
and you didn't list any churches, and this is a Christian youth camp.
yeah.
That's
He's like,
kind of
who are
odd.
you? Why?
They're like, our mom went here, and they're like, do you know her? Her name's Hope. And he's like, nah, it doesn't ring a bell. He's like, did you know her camp name? And they're like, no. And he's like, because that's kind of like how they learn each other's names is through
Hmm.
camp name. And they show her a picture. And you could see Mondo's just absolutely taken back. And he's like, Starlight. He's like,
Hmm.
Starlight was an amazing soul. And he's like, what do you mean was? And they're like, our mom's dead. And they go over everything. And after this kind of set of scenes helps you connect to Mondo, they break off again, and we see Finn is now on the phone call. He answers the phone, and it's the three boys asking for help. And it feels like this scene right here, in my personal opinion, should have been the first real phone call scene. I don't know if you felt that way, but I feel like the phone right now is just being a touch overused.
Hmm.
And I feel like if this was the first introduction to these boys, it would have been better suited. And then you could have given us everything you've already given us. I don't know if that
Okay.
makes
All right.
sense.
No, I know what you're saying.
But at least like at the camp anyway, this is all, like I said, very tense and all that shit. But we're 45 minutes in, and I feel like I just told you, I feel like they're overusing the payphone. And I do understand that this is a movie called The Black Phone. I just feel like a little less might be more right now.
Okay.
That's just me. Uh, but I did forget, because after this whole phone call, which is very well done. Don't take anything I said away from how well this is done. It jumps back to Gwen, and I forget how much I like Gwen in both movies, because she's in there talking to Barbara, one of the youth camp like staffers, and
Yep.
she's not afraid to go toe to toe with her, and she calls her a sanctimonious twat before she walks out, and I
Let's
laughed.
go.
And almost immediately afterwards, though, Gwen slips back into that 8 millimeter like dream realm, watching her mom talk to these boys on the phone before chasing Felix into the woods. And she actually ends up at this boy's murder scene, only to wake up in another dream. And I got this is borderline Inception, but with camp. Like she's in a dream within a dream,
In a dream.
and
Yeah,
she's
there's a
watching
lot.
people who aren't in the dream. There's a lot going on right
There's
now.
a lot happening in this movie.
But she ends up following Cal next. And we see Finn is also starting to have an intense phone call with the grabber. And let's just say the grabber's mask looks phenomenal.
It's amazing.
Like so good. The frostbite that's on it, the wear and tear, like just his acting behind it, he's still got that very flowy, like look at me, kind of Buffalo
Hmm.
Bob-esque, like my
Yep.
face, shit like that. I love
Yep.
I love how he does that. And this next set of scenes, if this is not The Exorcist meets fucking Nightmare on Elm Street, I don't know what is. Because Gwen ends up battling this fucking grabber in the kitchen. And like I said, holy exorcist scene. I'm not going to go into incredible detail, because this is a part of the movie that needs to be seen to be appreciated. And uh, the half the fucking camp witnesses it. And I'm finding a way home ASAP if I'm part of these staffers that sees this shit because I don't give a fuck if I gotta walk up 15 miles to get somewhere up in 15 feet of snow uphill both ways, dude. I'm finding some snowshoes and I am GONE gone.
I was just gonna say, I snowshoed
Witnessing
yesterday,
this shit,
so
nope.
I get it would be tough. I'd be get the hell out of there, grab a backpack. It's winter. I'm sure you got some warm shit. I don't even care. Like I'd be hiking the hell out of there.
And dude, Gwen, even after she deals with all this trauma, fucking Barb's in there and she's like, I'm not going anywhere with that possessed little girl. And she looks up and snaps back and she goes, I'm not possessed, you judgmental cunt wagon.
Dude, hilarious.
I
So
love
good.
Gwen so much.
Dude, Gwen's
She
amazing.
crushes this stuff.
Absolutely amazing. And then the fact that, like you said, they're all there and they basically start talking. They tell them pretty much everything. Talk to them about the dreams, how they need to find the kids. They're trying to connect all the dots now. They're all in like the church. They're trying to figure out how this connects. And Armando's talking about how he reopened this place and he bought it and he basically says like this dude still looks for those kids all the
Every
time.
single day he gets,
Every
weather permitting.
single day, this guy is out there hiking, looking for these kids. Like you start feeling for this guy. Like this guy's an amazing guy, and stuff started to make more sense. And they have like an old picture, and they're looking at it, and they're like, "Oh my God, like Wild Bill," and they're like WBH. They're like, "Holy shit, like that's him." And he starts talking about him, about how like, and he also starts talking about how like 3 years prior, like when he would have been killed by Finn, that's when weird shit started really happening there. Like it basically starts admitting like, yeah, stuff has been like really weird. Some crazy shit's been going down there, and they're like, we need to go down there. Like, we need to go to the lake. We need to find these boys. Decided piecing together everything. Like, oh my God, like these guys could be under the lake. They're writing the initials, and it's like, holy shit! Like, Wild Bill worked for this at this Alpine friggin' place. So this is
They called him Wild Bill because he used to wear a two belt that looked like the gunslinger.
exactly. So like, all everything's making sense.
That would explain why, if you look at the grabber's costume, he's kind of got that makeshift fucking two belt still that
Yeah.
he carries the
No,
axe in.
I think it's so cool. I liked it so much. And you see Armando's like talking over the radio, and he actually talks to the friggin' grabber. And this happened earlier. Sean noticed it, but same thing. This like a snowball hits the window,
No,
and
dude, it's the fucking full ass snowman.
full
He
snowman.
sees it
It
out in the thing and he
oh yeah,
blames Mustang like, oh, ha ha ha,
yeah.
funny.
And then on the wind, you see like the creepy mask in the window again, in like the background of like the grabber's face. Like I don't know, so amazing. You see, he even has like a nice moment with Finn, kind of like giving him like some free therapy, some talk and everything. Basically, just tells him like to quit smoking, get his game on. Like we got to do this. And we see next, it's daytime now, so it is go time. These people, and you get a cool montage of this. Like you see,
I was
like
just gonna say the montage with the score and music is very, very nice.
it's really good too because I feel like a lot happens in the movie and they move it around. They move it along pretty good because like you see they worked pretty much all day long. You see them clearing the snow off the ice because I mean obviously you need to be able to look under the ice first. So I mean they have a lot. This is a giant process that they have to freaking do. And then they point to the point where it gets to be bedtime right now and they're gonna start having like take shifts to watch Gwen, like very like Nightmare on Elm Street. Is we gotta like make sure that this does not happen, and we see Gwen, and now once again Gwen she falls asleep and she starts having visions of her mom, and visions of the grabber, and holy shit,
This
stuff.
this is so good that it jumps back to the paperboy. The
Yes.
first kill in the first movie. And I will say the only thing I do like about the grabber, which is literally just one thing in the entire
Hmm.
movie, is the fact that he doesn't kill the dog.
Yeah, thank God.
Just putting that out there. Yeah, he leaves the dog behind. Um, but like you said, he starts giving her visions of the mom.
Yep.
We see the mom wake up and like go through what Gwenny's gone through, and it is just absolutely heartbreaking though, because he's making Gwen watch her mom have these visions that actually lead her to the grabber's house. And she even knows she's like, it's Wild Bill. She sees the paperboy in the basement. When she goes to leave, first of all, don't park in his fucking driveway. That is dumbass move number one. That's
Hmm.
probably what got you caught. You park down the street and walk there.
Yep.
Um, But she goes to get back in her car only to get snatched up by the grabber who pulls her into the back of his van and like drives back to their house, and he fucking stages her unaliving in the garage that
Mm-hmm.
sends this entire family spiraling out of control. You
Mm-hmm.
can hear the absolute gut-wrenching heartbreak in the dad's crackling voice when he finds her, and it starts out with what have you done, what did you do, and it evolves into what did I do, this is my fault, how did I let this happen. And it just it clenches, it grabs at your throat. Like it is very emotional watching this man literally break in seconds and go from blaming her to blaming himself, and then knowing how bad it gets when she's gone and he doesn't know how to get out of his depths and demons in the
Yep.
first movie, because he's a straight piece of fucking shit in the first movie. Like
Oh
that dude
God,
needed to
yeah.
get grabbed and fucking got.
Yeah, like that's what I mean. Like that's this scene is so important because it shows what set off so much shit. Because like you said, I hated that dad so much in that first movie. So
And
this
then
was such an important scene.
it fucks with you too, because there's one point where she's having conversations with the grabber and she's like, why are you showing me this? And he's like, well, hell takes away all of your humanity and just leaves all your sins. He was like, this is a gift to you, the gift of knowing. And then he's like, before I got to do what I got to do. And he starts
Hmm.
battling her and he goes to kill her. And you can tell he's having fun with it because he shows her the axe. He like brandishes it and he goes to like walk after her. And she sprints downstairs to where the phone's ringing and it's Felix. And he's like, yo, he's like, you need you. Well, I don't think it's Felix. It's one of the other ones. He's like, hide. And then when she's trying to get through that, the little concrete hole that Finney dug out,
Yeah,
uh, Felix actually opens the door and saves her and pulls her out. And now she's on the ice and she can see Mondo with road flares still going hard looking for these boys. And he actually finds Felix. And the grabber shows up. And this scene is so well shot and acted, and the synchronized axe swings that end up breaking the ice that send Mondo into the freezing waters is so good. And this is like another part of the movie that I'm going to say needs to be seen to be fully appreciated, because Ethan Hawke, just the way he brings the grabber in, has such flow and rhythm into what he does in this set of scenes. Even earlier, like in the kitchen when they're battling,
yeah.
and he just kind of like sees everyone sees him, and he just kind of like backs up.
Dude, the grabber, like before he acts, like he ice skates. You look across the friggin' lake and you see like these perfect strides, and you're like, what is happening? This dude's ice skating with the
He
craziest
drops
mask
down
on,
to
and
one knee like he's been playing in the NHL for the
yeah,
last 20 years,
like this
and he's
dude's
giving you
watched
the pump for a goal.
right. This is like Ray Bork scoring a goal, like doing the friggin' pump. This is some Winter Olympic shit right here.
And then, speaking of Terrence, their father, and how much of a shitty dad he was earlier on in the movie, he actually shows up because Finn does call him, and or Gwen does earlier in the movie, and
Yeah,
tells him
earlier
like what's
on.
going on, and they want to leave.
Yep,
Terrence actually shows up. This man drove out there, and he's actually a good dad because, like I said, he's got 3 years sober under his belt. He has very little screen time, but right now I'm rooting for his complete turnaround as a human being.
yep,
And the only shitty thing is like when he gets there, all the shit that he's ignoring to kind of work on his own mental health
yep.
comes unfurling at 1,000 miles an hour,
Right
because
in front of his face.
he's like, hey guys, I called in a favor. I actually plowed my whole way here so we can get back home too. Isn't that great? And everything explodes on him. And it sucks that Finn finding out, like we find out what Finn's been doing, him and Gwen go at it. It's just it brings you back to having a sympathetic emotion for Finn, because you realize like he's just a teenager.
Oh yeah.
He's trying to cope with some of the most traumatic shit anyone has
Seriously.
ever gone through. And he's a real person and not just some final boy to be a final boy.
I know, poor
Like
dad's
he's
like, guys,
broken
I'm
like the
here.
rest of
They're
us.
like, Finn's spoken again. She's sneaking out. She's doing this. They're screaming. And then they're like, oh, yeah, by the way, like, this is what happened to mom. Tells them the truth. Like, I'm having
And
these
he's
dreams. Like, this poor dad's just like, what just happened?
everything just exploded. And you could see his mind reset over like the last 10 years. And he's like,
Yeah.
holy shit, like I blame myself and I made our lives miserable because I blame myself for this and it's not my fault.
Yeah. What happened
Like
right
that's
there?
a lot to take on. But
Yeah.
when Finn breaks and he's like, "You don't think I'm hurting from what went down like down there? You don't think I feel this pain every day? You don't think I'm scared?" Like the way he breaks in that scene, bro. Mason Thames crushed it.
Oh yeah.
Top notch acting. Like I cannot wait to see this kid evolve into just more roles, whether that be horror, drama, action, whatever. He is great in this movie. Oh, that was a lot for that set of scenes.
Dude, and it just keeps getting crazier because, of course, like all after all this is freaking happening, like you see Gwen, like they're still on the lake looking, and Gwen,
Can you throw a red flag for the scene? I'm sorry.
like all we got all the red flags
You
again.
watched
Yep,
Mondo fall through the ice because he had a sledgehammer trying to get to Felix.
yep.
You watched him fall through the ice. Granted, you might not have known it was the grabber, but you're gonna go out there with a bobcat, a four wheeler,
There's a lot of stuff out on the
and a
ice.
fucking pickup truck
Yeah, that's what I mean.
running
Like they're
side by side, dead center in this ice. I don't give a fuck how frozen it is. You watch someone go through this ice already. You don't think adding an extra 3 tons of weight is gonna
I
do
know.
any better? Come
Seriously,
on,
it just
guys.
get axed through. And now, like you said, now we have everything out there. Gwen is getting very tired. She's in the backseat of that stuff, and all of a sudden, of course, she's falling asleep again. And then there's a lot happening again because we see the grabber is back
Dude, the ice skates.
skating.
Oh my god.
It is
Oh my
amazing
god.
too because he attacks those two douches, Barb, and I don't know the other guy, the guy's name. Yeah, but
I
oh my
actually
God.
never learned his name in this movie.
Yeah, I just wrote guy. The other. I literally wrote the two douches. And when I say it's a crazy looking, he grabs one of them, dude. You can't like. It shows the dream world, so you see him, but then it shows the other world, and this dude's just getting dragged across the
It
ice.
is so Freddy like related when he
Yeah,
starts throwing people around in their dreams
yes,
and you can see it, but you can't see him.
that's what I mean. So you like have to kind of
Bro,
understand like this is like that. This is what it's looking like because there's a blood trail, absolutely scary. You see it like half of his jaw mask is ripped off now. It is we see Gwen is under the water now. She is tossed in it. She is finding these friggin' boys. So there is so much shit
her
going on.
dad's in there too in the
Yeah.
real world
The-
trying to catch Felix because the grabber fucking knocked in the steel wire and I'm like, oh,
yeah.
there is so much
No, there's
going
so much
on.
going on. So like I said, the dad, the poor dude, now the dad's in there literally trying to save lives. You see Gwen underneath there saving lives. You see now Finn ends up getting attacked. And then after everyone ends up attacking the grabber. We're talking about the Ghost Boy kids and every single thing too. We
Dude,
see
that
that.
was so cold hearted when the grabber starts to square off with Gwen and he's like, what are you gonna do? And she's like, I brought friends.
Dude,
And they
friends.
start fucking popping up and grabbing him. Oh,
Dude, and
so
this dude
good.
takes an axe to the face, like removes his mask, gets out all crazy. They
She
see
turned
that
his forehead into a two head.
dude splits it. They end up smashing this dude's friggin' face. Dude, they're chopping off his legs. This guy is getting hacked up. So this dude chops his legs off, and you see them dumping him off into that frozen
Can
friggin'
we
lake.
talk about how Finney had enough wherewithal that when he was getting strangled, that when he reached out, you could tell he felt the grabber and was like, all right, game on, bro.
Yeah,
Like, if you want to do this in this realm, there's a way I can get to you too. And he starts fighting the grabber without being able to see him, and he still fucks him up.
dude. So I don't know. I kind of loved it. And then you see throw him. They dump him into the frozen lake. And then we see the next day, we see Armando. He's calling everyone saying, "Hey, we found these bodies of the kids." So you get some really good closure right there. Everybody's leaving, but guess what happens? The phone rings, and but Gwen is the only one that hears this one.
Finn's
But
like, I guess you got to answer it.
yeah, you got to answer it, and she goes and answers it, and holy emotions, it's her freaking mom. Says that it's beautiful there. They say their goodbyes and everything, so she even gets closure there. And then we see the dad. Everyone's like, "Hey, get in." Dad drives away in his truck. We see the gates closing behind him. The end. Black Phone 2. It's a wrap. Let's
Bro,
go.
that closing scene, tell me that didn't tug at your heartstrings. Like, it was emotional enough between Gwen and Hope, but to have her
Yeah.
go, hey, tell your brother I love him too. Oh, and that
Mhm.
Robin says hi.
Yeah.
And to watch her tell Finn that and to watch Finn kind of break again,
Yeah.
bro, these two kids, even Robin, or Ernesto, these three kids
Yep.
fucking slay in these roles. I'm sorry, but they are great at acting.
So good. So good.
All
Love
right.
them.
So we're gonna dive into our closing thoughts, hack stab slash. And the first time I watched this movie, I watched the first half and I fell asleep because we're getting work like dogs. and we've been doing like fucking 13-hour shifts. So I had to watch the second half, and this I wrote based off of that experience and not rewatching it again to do my notes with a
Mm-hmm.
full like sit through and no distractions, nothing like that. So I'm gonna tell you right now, my original score, Justin, was in the fives.
Okay. All
Yep.
right.
But rewatching this without any interruptions and then even talking about it now, I've continued to change it.
Okay.
Whether that be for good or for bad, I'm not going to tell you until I get there. But the beginning of
Oh
this
boy.
movie does
Oh boy.
feel like a rinse and repeat. Finn's fighting, Gwen's having dreams, the dad's full of remorse, the family's trying to move on without actually moving on, and it's very clearly eating them alive. This is 10 times more bloody and gruesome than the first movie. The cold factor is almost its own character for a while, although I feel like it does take a back seat from time to time. The effects on the decaying dead grabber is horrifying. The dream world running parallel with the real world is very Freddy adjacent, but with alterations like being able to fight the entity without being asleep to do it. I thought that was really cool. There's some storyline that personally I'd have done differently. Maybe make the grabber over the phone and the radio without actually showing him. You can still have this wild ass kitchen scene and pawn scene with the grabber. Just don't show him. Make him that like invisible presence for a little while. Um, Also, maybe like one or four less dreams in 8 millimeter. The 8 millimeter effect is incredibly effective and scary, but it does kind of feel like it's overdone this time around. I felt a disconnect this time around to almost all the characters, believe it or not, outside of Ernesto, who plays Robin's little brother. That's
All
right
right.
up until the end when shit really starts to get crazy and you realize the grabber killed the mom. Then my whole opinion of this movie really started to change. I want to give this a high rating, but I just can't. Keep in mind, that's the first time I watched this with having to take a break in between. And
Mm-hmm.
then I wrote, I want this to be a franchise to continue with the grabber, but I don't want it to get silly. And if it does, and it does get silly, I want them to go like full Freddy with it, like get really fucking silly.
Yep.
My original rating, because I watched this half and half, and I was extremely tired when I watched this, and I think the 8 millimeter mixed in way too much with my exhaustion. I originally gave this a 5.1, which I
Okay.
rewatching this, I've watched this 3 times since then without
Okay.
interruption, and I've actually upped it to a 7.7. And this movie, even talking about it now, I want to rate it higher because it is really fucking good.
Let's
I
go.
think I think there's a little bit of fluff, and like I said, there's pieces that I would move around because I like how flawlessly the first one does it, and I feel like again I still stand on that ground that 8 millimeter, the dream sequences were a tad too long or just a little misplaced.
Okay.
But this is still really fucking good.
Hell yeah.
Like
All
I want a Black Phone 3 if they can keep
right.
up this type of momentum and not get too silly with it. Like the only
Yep.
comedy I want comes out of Gwen's mouth.
Hell yeah. Amen. I wrote, damn, the how they tied all this together, the backstory, I thought was freaking amazing. I loved it so much. I love cold setting horror, snowstorms. I thought, like Sean said, like that was like its own character in this. The whole the blizzard and everything. It added to the dread. It's such I did not know this was a winter horror movie watching it. This is one of my favorite winter horror movies. The cinematography and the score, what they did with some of the songs, so amazing. Some of the shots of the ice, even just seeing the phone booth there, absolutely amazing. I thought this was so creepy. It had some really good gore. I thought this was so well done. I freaking absolutely love this. I love how the second half did have some Nightmare on Elm Street inspired stuff. Some of the score and certain shots kind of reminded me of Sinister, but I love the mystery. I love just how you're trying to like tie everything together. I thought it was so good. I gave this an 8.2 out of 10 and just absolutely loved it. And I was actually shocked when I was so excited. I went and looked later on and I read reviews and people friggin' hated this. People did not
I'm
this
just
did
gonna show
not
you
do good.
something real quick.
Oh God, what do we got?
So while you were talking, I changed my score again.
You know, yes, let's go. Yeah, no,
So we're right there, dude. I
yeah, I
think the
freaking
more
loved it.
more I've watched this without interruption,
Dude, I
I
give it
love
an
it.
8 point. I was when all that crazy after that crazy scene to Pink Floyd was going on. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then when they got to the cabins and they had that crazy scene with all those creepy kids and the gore, I was like, this is absolutely chills. The ice skating at the end, like, give me all the
It's
winter
so
horror.
good,
I
so
freaking
good.
love this
I
movie.
want
I
more of it.
cannot believe I watched a bunch of people's top 10 movies of 2025. No one had this on this. I read reviews after and people shit all over this. I don't know. I apparently where I at least well your score went up too. I was gonna say
My score went up drastically.
yeah, drastically. Thank God.
Maybe those people who were shitting on this were in the same boat I was, where they felt originally exhausted by how much of the dream
Yeah,
sequence there was in this movie.
yeah,
But on rewatches, dude, it just like the first one, it feels like it just keeps getting better.
yeah. I loved it. Like I said, this is I like. I feel like if you have a especially the fact I don't know. I mean, I also watched this during like our biggest snowstorm in like a decade. So the fact like if next time you have a snowstorm, watch this movie. If someone wants a nice winter horror movie, it's snowing like crazy, you're snowed in. I think this is absolutely perfect. Now let's get into some fun facts. I got a tagline of "Dead is just a word."
Oh yeah. 6.1 on IMDb as well as 72% on Rotten Tomatoes, which isn't too far behind Black Phone, believe it or
Right.
not.
And no, and like IMDb and Black what do you call it? Rotten Tomatoes is so tough. So I mean that's a kind of respectable score. This was James Ransone. I think we actually mentioned that. This was his last acting role, even though it was a very small piece, but rest in peace.
Miguel Mora, who played Robin Arleno in the first film, I know I'm saying that last name wrong, like the character. He
Hmm.
actually returns in the sequel, and he's actually Ernesto playing Robin's little brother.
Oh, let's go.
That shows that kid's acting chops because Robin was so badass in the first one, and
Hmm.
then to have him come back as Ernesto,
That is so cool.
can we just say the Clark Kent effect is real because all
Right.
this kid changes about himself as he puts on glasses,
Yeah, I was gonna say
and
what
it
the
fucking worked. I
and it
had
worked.
no idea it was the same guy.
No, me
I
neither.
just thought they looked like legitimate brothers.
No, that's kind of amazing. Scott Derrickson, director, he said he was actually very hesitant about the sequel until Joe Hill, which that's what Stephen King's son, he
Yep,
called him and he actually like pitched him this idea and it's like, no, you should do this. Pitched him an idea and he ran with it. And here at the Hackstab slash podcast, we're very glad that he went and did it.
abso-fucking-lutely. In one scene, Finn is watching a music video for the song Subways of Your Mind by the band FEX. This song for years was famous for being the most mysterious song on the internet, as a recording of it circulated onto the internet for years with no attributed artist. The search lasted several years, only to be solved in late 2024.
That's wild. I knew none of that. Okay. That's crazy. This movie was filmed in Toronto.
Ethan Hawke rarely, I love this in the first movie too. He very rarely wore the same version of the grabber mask in consecutive scenes, emphasizing his very unpredictable behavior.
Dude, Ethan Hawke's the man. This was a budget of 30 million and it made 132 million, so it's still absolutely crushed.
About an hour and 15 minutes into the film, there is a Super 8 flashback footage of the grabber when he was young. It is actually unknown who played him young, but against previous reporting, it is not his daughter Maya Hawke, which I thought would have been pretty sick.
Yeah, that would have been really cool. And I think that's all I got.
All right, I got a couple more. The film uses deliberately grainy dream vision film texture to differentiate. Wow, I'm struggling today with words.
Yeah, I had a tough
English,
time.
please. To differentiate Gwen's psychic visions from reality. I think maybe the grainy texture is too close to the 8 millimeter. But after I
Hmm.
read that fun fact, I can see a difference.
Hmm.
But I think on a first watch, when I said like that 8 millimeter feels like it's way too much,
Hmm.
maybe it's because they look so similar that I felt like it was nonstop.
Yeah, it was just similar. I
But after
definitely.
you watch it, you can definitely see a difference between the two because
Yep.
it goes from 8 millimeter the flashbacks of the boys to almost a filter esque, like something you could use
Hmm.
on like a TikTok or something like that.
Yeah. Yep.
The grabber skating sequence is a direct montage to Curtains from 1983. Have you ever seen Curtains?
I have, and that's the only that scene 100%. I'm glad you wrote that because I knew it had to have been because that's the
Yeah,
only other scene I've really seen someone ice skating in. So
I thought it was pretty dope. After
yeah,
I
so
read that, I was like, "Ooh, that click click!" Like,
yeah, no,
thank you.
I instantly thought of Curtains when I saw him skating.
I've only seen Curtains once, so it didn't like it was one of those like I've seen this before. I know
Yeah,
this is a homage to something. I can't quite figure it out. I was
right,
digging through
gotcha.
fun facts and I found that I was like, hell yeah. The grabber's face is only seen briefly in a photograph in the first film. The grabber is unmasked by Finney before killing him, which is really cool because all right, I got a question for you.
Okay, what do you got?
Who's got the worst unmasking for a face? The grabber when
Hmm.
he peels off his face and he lets out like howling squeal.
Yeah, he like loses his shit.
Yeah, and they kick him into the ice. Or Jason when he peels off the mask and his face is all fucked up with
It's
like maggots hanging
There's
out of
like
his eyes.
maggots and going on and everything. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
If you had to
Um,
kiss one, who would it be?
oh, if I had a kiss one, oh God, I don't know why I don't know why I'm still picking Jason. I don't know why. Jason is so
Maybe because
disgusting.
he's still got lips.
Yeah. What a terrible question to ask someone.
Oh, we're gonna make that a TikTok.
I'm gonna say, why did I answer that?
That's like one of those jokes when it's like, "There's 1,000 dicks in the room. How many are you sucking?"
Oh my God. Oh my God. The fact that
All
I'm thinking
right.
about like they're both their faces, I'm like, Oh my
All
God.
right, hack stab slash. We're getting the hell out of here. I'm
Yeah.
hacky.
Just Justin had the best day
Yeah.
ever.
Don't forget to kiss your villains.
Oh,